Notes, here's how I want us to think about Spark. All of you listening to me right now, I'm going to call you Oh Brilliant Spark. That's right, Oh Brilliant One. As the Spark, you are a brilliant, energized, one of the words that I saw in the chat, force to be reckoned with. You are a brilliant, energized force. And as a brilliant, energized force, every single day you wake up to say, how do I do what I do at Travelers PI? Not because I have to, but because I want to. And when you're the brilliant, energized spark, we have to start with strategy or principle number one. And that is, how do I begin to grow and protect my mindset in the midst of change? And when we think about mindset, mindset is so important right now because how many of you, and I know some of you put in the chat, haven't been sleeping, eating a little bit more, a lot going on. Obviously, there's economic uncertainty. You have perhaps a spouse or partner at home, children at home. We love our children, don't we? See the smile? We love our children, but they're at home. When does school start? And so we got a lot going on, right? And so when I talk about mindset, I want to invite us to think about taking our meds. So when I say take your meds, if I'm going to have the mindset to really spark being a brilliant, energized force, happy, all of the things that you just outlined a moment ago in the chat, I want you to think about meds stands for meditate, exercise, diet, and sleep, okay? So when I talk about meditate, Rabbi Harold Kushner, who wrote the book, What Matters the Most in Life, Rabbi teaches an amazing concept called emotional congruence. Rabbi says when you're operating in emotional congruence, everything that you think, everything that you say, everything that you feel is in alignment. Rabbi goes on to say, when you're not in alignment, there's a split in your soul and your energy is scattered. So you're pulled in a million different directions. So if we are truly going to be the spark within PI, I want us to think about just meditating, slowing down in order to speed up. In the Eastern part of the world, they call it meditation. Here in the Western part of the world, Harvard Business Review for well over almost 3 decades now calls it mindfulness. So it's the ability to slow down in order to speed up. There's an app called Headspace. If you're not familiar with Headspace, disclaimer, I have no affiliation with them, but it's a great app. There's another app called Calm. And what these apps allow you to do is to be intentional about making sure that you have the mindset in order to engage. All right. Number 2, exercise. So I lost the 20 pounds because I got up and I started walking. I have a Fitbit now. And so exercise, carving out that time. And we know that health experts tell us a minimum of 20 minutes a day, right? So what's going to be your exercise routine? Because remember what I said earlier about when Rabbi Harold Kushner talks about emotional congruence. All right. So then diet. I had to start eating better, had to let go of the carbs and the sugars and the French fries and the hot apple pie a la mode with a cold glass of milk. So I had to really stop with the apple pie because I wanted to be healthy. And I went to my doctor. He said my A1C was not where it needed to be. So I had to work on that. But then the other thing is I had to start sleeping because when COVID-19 hit, I just was like, what just happened? And I was listening to a psychologist, and the way he explained what's happened in the last 6 months, he said, imagine getting up in the middle of the night to go to your refrigerator to get something to drink. You don't have to turn the lights on, but you can get out of your bed, and because you're wired to just walk in a certain path, you go right to the refrigerator, never turning a light on, get what you need, and go right back in the dark. He said, imagine you get up and somebody puts a sofa in the normal path to the refrigerator and you just bump right into it and double over. He said, that's the way to think think about what has happened in the last 6 months to put it in perspective. So this ability to take your meds. Now, why is that important? Because when I have internal alignment, I can create external execution. Internal alignment that creates external execution. You're probably saying, Simon, for what? So that I show up in the culture to be the best version of myself. PI, you have an amazing culture. And what allows your culture to really thrive is because all of us show up every single day, virtually, in person, or however we need to connect with saying, how do I be the best person today, better than I was yesterday? Duke University says that culture is the invisible hands of the organization. I like to say culture is the emotional contract that all of you have signed with PI, deciding every single day that I'm the right person doing the right things in a great culture.